Pop, pop.
Bears. Beats. Battlestar.
Stay on target.
You can't handle the truth.
Stay on target.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
With great power comes great responsibility.
There's only one God, man. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
How does he dress? How do you think God dresses?
All
Humbly.
natural.
Ugh. Yeah, probably. I mean, we made in his image. Welcome to the podcast. I just asked a very awesome question. What do you think God dresses like if it's not like in Doth Mother Know You Weareth Her Drapes? From the Avengers. You guys don't know?
No, I know.
Okay.
I know where that's from.
Doth Mother Know You Weareth Her Drapes.
I'm absolutely shocked at the start of this podcast right now. I don't know if I have a good answer for you. Jordan, do you have a good answer for him?
Maybe it's what do you hope God dresses like?
He is dressed in righteousness.
There we go. Thank you.
Oh, nailed it. I was going to say I prefer my Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt. Because it says, I mean business, but I also like to party.
I know.
Wait, hold on.
You don't like
That's
Is
to
the
party.
tuxedo t-shirt the mullet of apparels?
Business up front, party in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yep. So, welcome to Pod Culture Redemption, and welcome to the year 2024.
Dude, we haven't seen you guys since last year.
Oh my gosh, it's been
And
so
actually,
long.
we didn't see you last year either.
I haven't eaten since last year.
It's
You haven't
we
eaten?
d-
Yes. You didn't eat yesterday?
Maybe.
Jake.
Today is the second.
Is yours?
This podcast is coming out on January 2nd.
Wait, there are food banks here. We can go.
I didn't do my math right. It's fine.
No, but it is good to be with you all. My name's Connor.
My name's Jacob.
I'm Jordan Summers, and I did my time, and I won out. I didn't have anything else. I didn't have anything better.
What is that?
I did.
Okay, that's what I was like. Why is that so familiar? From the Elf episode, right?
I considered my
No.
own.
What
It's
episode is that?
just Slipknot.
No,
No,
he
but I did
that
it.
in
I
the
did it
middle
in a
of
different
my
episode.
of one of my things.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Was it
Yeah,
Elf?
I
Was
think
that
it
the Elf episode, or was
yeah.
that
Yeah, I think it was Elf.
Taylor Swift? No, I think it was Elf because it was here.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I had another Christmas one that I considered doing instead.
But it's not Christmas. It's the
It's
New
not
Year.
Christmas anymore. It's the New Year.
New
but
Year,
my
new
other
me.
thing was all I want for Christmas is your two front teeth.
This is like the loading screen while you're looking at the characteristics, or the strengths and
Dun, dun,
weaknesses.
dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
And you're like, what color shirt do I want Jordan to be wearing when I pick him? Is it purple? Is it green? Is it red? Is it blue? Dun, 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 dun. Does he have a fancy hat?
Yes,
So
it's
I'm-
the slash hat.
It's like the Smash Brothers version of Pop Culture Redemption.
We need to make a reel out of that.
we
That'd
could
be
your
pretty
Pop
fu-
CR.
That's right.
I probably could find like a little game making software thing and put all three of us in it.
Please do.
And
I
do
want
a
to
little
see
fighter.
an 8-bit Connor.
I actually
Oh.
I believe it or not,
I bet there's a filter, and we could do an entire episode where we are 8-bit.
That'd be pretty funny.
I actually have here's the first disciple reference of 2024. I actually had an idea for a disciple beat 'em up video game. Like I had a storyline figured out. I had moves and different costumes thought of for this.
Amazing.
Because I'm like, man,
What's the premise of the game?
the premise of the game is there are evil like shadow versions of each of the members. So you have like the arcade story mode is you're going through and you have to like defeat these evil versions. And then there's like the occasional like the band members get in a fight over something silly and stupid, and then they fight it out, and then it's like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a dumb fight, and then they're friends again or something. I don't know, but it was just like,
I mean,
and
If it's every band ever, then it's a fight over a girl, right?
Or
The
it's
girl
a
that
fight
tears the band
caused by
apart.
it's either that or a fight caused by van troubles.
well, and
Yeah, it's also true.
well,
Yeah.
and so part of the reason I had the idea is because one of their songs is called "Game On." The chorus is when the lights go up and the game is on. Are you
Oh,
ready?
I know
for
that song.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me? Cause I'm ready for you.
When the bell rings out and the fight is on, are you ready for me? Cause I'm ready for you. I can't scream very well.
Nice.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. Hey, this is very exciting. We got some
need to
great
have
ideas here.
I think I have something to look forward to in 2024.
We got the juices
it's
flowing.
Connor's metal album.
Oh, please.
All right. Welcome to Pop Culture Redemption. We are a podcast, and that's it. We're a podcast. Just kidding. We're a podcast helping the church have a better vision about God's presence and work in pop culture. Pop culture. Pinky up. It's a pop culture. Some housekeeping really quick as we enter into 2024. One, thank you for following the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
We're so glad you're
We
here.
appreciate it. What a great round of applause for you. Very short and abrupt, but
You're great.
very coordinated,
And silence.
like late night show level of scripted applause right
Yes.
there for you.
And the fact that you are a regular listener to the podcast, or that you listen at all, proves just how awesome and cool and beautiful and handsome and lovely you are. The fact, like, just the fact that
Dude,
you,
Jordan coming in with that Rizz.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they're coming in with the Rizz. I'm just pointing it out.
You can check us out if you want to check out the Rizz that Jordan is bringing. You can check us out on our YouTube channel, Pop Culture Redemption. That's the name of our podcast.
Fashion
The name of our
sits, then it will
YouTube
fits.
channel. We also have social media accounts now.
Putting on the Rizz.
Woo! Instagram, Facebook.
At PopCR.
All right. And you could go old school, and you can always email the show at admin@popcr as well.
Yes.
.org. Sorry, .org. That's important to include in an email.
Not .com. We don't like those guys.
And not .net. .net is for losers.
That's right.
And that is a reference.
Not .gov.
Jordan's
because
first deep cut of the year.
We ain't
Jordan's
government
references.
agency. And,
That was also a reference, but that one was kind of-
this
kind of a
reference brought to you by Jordan Summers.
Amazing.
So today, as we enter into 2024, we are going to big picture look at 2023. So as we look back over the last year, we're going to loosely use some of our prompts, the rejoice, the reject, redeem. We're not going to stick strictly to that this year, but we're going to use it to inform how we look at 2023. What are our thoughts? What are our reflections on it? What are the good things that happen, either in our own lives or in the world around us? Maybe what are some not so great things that happen? How do we see God working? Obviously, that's the point of the podcast, right? How do we see God moving? And then we're going to end the podcast with talking about what are our hopes for 2024. Last week on our podcast, we talked about vision.
Yes.
Right? We're people that God has gifted us with the ability to have dreams and to dream about what could be and the good that can happen. We can see this vision ahead. So we're going to dream a little bit about 2024.
We're going to dream on.
Dream on! Dream on! I don't know.
Come on, Jordan. Do it.
Sing with me, sing for the year. I'll stop.
Nothing. I got nothing.
That was one of my favorite. That's actually the reason that I wanted. That's like that song is one of the reasons I wanted to be a vocalist when I was a kid.
Sick.
Steven Tyler.
Look
It's
at
an
that.
impressive track.
Look at that vision. What vision? Okay, so as we
But
think
Vision's
back
dead.
about... No. No, Vision is alive. WandaVision? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, the vision part of WandaVision. Vision's dead.
White Vision
Huh?
lives. And
Oh,
they talked
yeah.
about the boat of whatever. Like
Forgot
where
about White
if you have the
Vision.
boat, but if you replace
That's so
every part, is
racist.
it still the boat of the what? Come on, son. Get out of here with that bull. All right. So
Rally around the family.
as we think back to
Bulls on
things that have
parade!
happened in 2023, here's some things that have happened. Because 2023, you're thinking about what happened this year. Maybe think about something that happened as I did. I was like, did this happen in 2023? No, it did not. Did this happen? Yes, it did. So here's some things that happened. Some
Hit us with
notable culture, pop culture things that happened this past year. So February, we had a UFO obsession, craze,
Just a little
fascination. You remember this?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That was 2023. March 17th, the Taylor Swift's Eras tour began. And you're like, all the way back in March? Yep, started in March.
bit. She's been a little busy.
Something on a less joyful note, June 18th was the Titan submersible, right? Exploded underwater. You remember all this?
Titanic claimed more victims.
Yes. Yeah. Imploded during an expedition to view the Titanic. And that whole kind of 2 or 3 day span where is it at? Is it not? And it just ended up that unfortunately some people died in that, and that exploded. In July we had Barbieheimer swept the nation, right? Barbie and Oppenheimer, those movies came out back to back in a week and were a cultural phenomenon. September 24th, we talked about it on this podcast, so I had to mention it. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift go public with their relationship. Hold on, let me do some math real quick. October 7th, I think this happened before this other event. October 7th, I'm trying to go in chronological order here. October 7th, Hamas attacks Israel. War breaks out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Also in October, the best podcast in the entire world launched.
Yes, it did.
Oh, Pop Culture Redemption, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
You were thinking about us? It was
I'm
us.
like, Holy Post launched a long time ago.
Now we have to link another link to the Holy Post in the show notes.
With the Perrys has been out for a while, too.
The second best episode. The second best podcast. Pop Culture Redemption.
Hey, even though I think the Holy Post podcast
The
is
worst.
the best.
I should have done the worst. The worst podcast, right? First, last, first. The worst podcast in the world launched.
No,
It was
I was
Pop
gonna
Culture
say-
Redemption.
I was going to say,
Got
even-
that upside down gospel.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, even though I think that Holy Post podcast is the best, I still would say that this podcast is my favorite because it has 2 of my favorite people in it.
But what about Jacob?
I mean, he's here tw
Yeah, I get it. I'll leave. It's okay,
Just
guys.
kidding.
I'll leave. Actually, I can't. You're my ride home.
You know what? This next point could. No, I said the rise of AI this year.
Yikes.
That's been a big thing, right? Chat GPT didn't come out this year. It's been out. When did it come out? 2 years? 3 years?
2021, I think.
But it has definitely taken a large leap forward this year. And 2023 is the warmest year in recorded history. So, not to step on a giant.
It's because it's because we
hornet's
started
nest
our
of-
podcast and we started spitting that fire.
Because this podcast is hot.
Look, I'm Jordan Summers. I'm always bringing the heat.
It's hot in here. It is hot. We are taking the level up. So we want to apologize for
All the global warming.
causing global warming.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Yeah.
This is why we're not the #1 podcast.
This is why. We are hated.
That plus Holy Post and With the Perrys were taken. We can't be the best.
Can't be the best. Wait, what was the second thing you
With
said?
the Perrys,
What is that?
Oh,
Oh,
so
no, I know
good.
what that is. That is
Jackie Hill
Yeah,
and Preston Perry.
I have heard
is
of that
really
podcast.
good.
I don't think I've ever listened to it, but I do know what it is.
Super solid. Now you have
Solid.
another podcast to put in the show notes.
Fantastic. We're going to put our podcast in the show notes too. Is that self-plug? What is that? I don't know.
I think that's a
Is
useless
that like
plug.
is
It's
that like
like,
liking
you know-
your
you know-
own
No, no, no.
post?
You know, you know
It's
what
like plugging a power strip into itself.
It's like you know the meme picture of former President Barack Obama giving himself a medal.
Oh yeah.
It's that.
Dude, okay,
Yeah.
do y'all remember way back? I don't remember what this commercial was for, but y'all remember the phrase like, "Oh, thanks, Obama."
Yeah.
There was I can't remember what the commercial was for, but it was Barack Obama just going through like daily life and like just like inconvenient things would happen. Like the example is he's dipping his Oreo in milk and he drops the cookie and he just goes, "Oh, thanks, Obama."
I remember seeing that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
he had a good sense of humor.
He
Great
did.
sense.
He did. All right. Or he does,
Or
I
does,
guess. He's
yeah.
still alive. When he was president, he had great sense of humor.
He's since lost it.
He's since
Oh.
lost it.
I would like to think. I would like to
The
hope
plot,
that's not-
unlike his hair, continues to thicken.
Connor's deep cut from Psych for the week.
Poor presidential
Let's not get into
presidents that get years taken off their life because they were president. I don't know where to go with that.
that. Let's just hop
We're
into the
back.
next
We're
thing.
back into 2023. So as we're gonna throw it around the table. I said around the table, not round table. So don't say anything about a rectangle table. I said
It
we're
is
throwing it
rectangle.
around the table.
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 You want to?
Okay, that also happened in 2023 with Pop Culture Redemption.
That was so
I
insane.
gotta stop laughing into the mic. I keep breathing into the mic, so I apologize, everyone. I want to apologize.
I just love how well trained.
to all of you for breathing into the mic. I'm sorry. This is my New Year's resolution.
You're gonna be more. You're gonna be more or less like Nicolas Cage.
The bees. Why did it have to be bees? That's 70. Wait, how many people signed the Declaration of Independence?
I don't know.
That's 76 men signed. I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
You want my Nick Cage impression?
Yes.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. I didn't say
I
it
don't
was
know
a
who
good
that
impression.
reminded me of.
Say
That
it
reminded
was
me
a
of someone very specific, but I can't place. Can you do
I
it
don't know.
again?
My brain
Give
went
me
to
one more
Eeyore.
take. Give the audience one more take, Jordan.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Kind of sounds like Eeyore.
It's like got like a slow southern drawl to it a little bit. And I'm trying to place who that voice, but I can't. So maybe that'll be in the show notes. Who knows? I'm just gonna put everything in the show notes today.
I'm gonna
put Connor's address
skin
into
you.
the show notes. If you want to mail him something special.
Ooh, presents.
That's 867-5309.
Yine. All right, so we're gonna throw it around the table,
Candy
and we're gonna
cane
talk
lane.
about just reflections based on 2023.
What
How
am I
we've seen God maybe working, or what do we? Again, we might use setup like Rejoice, Reject, Redeem, or we might just kind of give some personal updates or just some reflections on what's been going on in our lives or the lives of those around us, maybe in culture, in the world. We're leaving it kind of loose today. We're
Loosey-goosey.
we're keeping things a little unbuttoned today. You know, sometimes we keep it a little more button.
Says the guy
Little
wearing
casual.
a buttoned shirt.
What's up? Hear about Pluto?
Man, it's messed up,
That's messed up, right?
Come on, son.
Okay, who?
Every time you say "come on, son," I
on, son.
imagine it in like a pirate.
Arr, come on, son. I don't know.
Just the way that you
Wait,
say it, it's very
what's
like,
a pirate's favorite letter?
he.
are.
You would think, but actually, it's the C. I had to.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
My first dumb joke of 2024.
Proud of you. That's one of my
And the
my things for 2024 that I'm actually going to try to step into a little bit more is taking more risks. So I want to affirm you and say thank you, Jacob, for taking a risk. Thank you. Your podcast thanks you. I'm going to start because nobody else is starting. So here we go. 2023 reflections. I am so pumped that this podcast started. There we go.
Yep.
Love you guys. It's great. It's so good to be able to talk about God and to watch some cool movies,
And have some cool merch.
and have some cool merch, and to just
have
be
great
able to
friends.
be reminded myself and with one another of the goodness of God and just how God's always moving and working. Oh. George started to do circles on my back with his finger.
Oh, man.
And just another thing that I love about this podcast.
Is the chaos?
Is
Is the
how
chaos.
unhinged I am specifically.
Absolutely. Yes. No, it's all good. I want to rejoice all of it. And I've really enjoyed it so far. So there it is. There's my first 2023 reflection that I will offer today. And there will be more. But now I'm going to throw it to Jordan.
I mean, so many things I could rejoice in. I've been able to see a lot more movies.
Nice.
Proud of you.
And
But still hasn't seen all of Star Wars, by the way. Leave angry comments in the comment section.
Look.
I've
seen the good ones.
Ooh.
That
which
just
is-
started a war by itself.
Nice.
Like don't say which ones, and we'll watch the comment war.
Yeah, there we go.
What do you think Jordan's talking about? Let us know. Admin at PopCR in the comment section
I mean,
or on
episode-
social media.
Episode 8. Come on, son.
I'll fight you.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Continue,
It's-
please.
So movies, right? I'm like, what was I even talking about? All right, movies.
That's right, yeah.
So I one of the things that I've really specifically enjoyed this year is watching all of the Spider-Man movies, all the
So
newer,
good.
more recent Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Verse movies and the Tom Holland movies, and it like reminded me like, oh yeah, I actually like really love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's awesome.
Was No Way Home 2023?
That was
No, but-
2022, I think.
The best crowd pleaser movie in history.
So I
Crowd
finally watched that,
pleaser.
and
Sorry.
I
2021. Sorry. Came out in 2021.
okay. So I've been watching these movies, and I played the Spider-Man, the 2014 or 2015 Marvel Spider-Man video game. And it's such a good game.
Yeah.
Such a good game. I haven't started Miles Morales yet, but hopefully soon I will be starting that and playing through that
Forget
one.
how big of a Spider-Man fan you are.
Well, and that's the crazy thing, because like I casually enjoyed Spider-Man before, but like since I've been watching the movies and playing the games, I'm like, man, this is like he's such a like I thoroughly enjoy the Spider-Man character, and there's just a lot of cool stuff and fun. So that's been great.
Shout out to our Spider-Verse episodes. Go check them
Yep.
out.
Yep, number 5 and 6. Episodes 5 and 6.
The Mario movie
So good.
that also happened in 2023. Yeah,
So did the Super
Yep.
Mario movie
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
it's true.
Episode 2.
So like both of those were great.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite and 343 Industries really got their crap together. Like they have been doing awesome, and I seriously doubt any 343 devs are watching, or listening, whatever. If they are,
You're doing good.
you guys are doing great, and
Good
I want to
job.
affirm that. And like, I appreciate you guys and the hard work you put in. Thank you. And even when the stuff doesn't pan out, thank you for trying and putting in that effort. But yeah, I'm very thankful for where Halo Infinite is at. They very recently added Firefight back to Halo Infinite, and
Are you serious?
yes,
Dude, we're playing.
yes, we are. But not only did they add Firefight, they added custom Firefight, forgeable AI, and you can create custom Firefight matches and
playing.
levels. It's awesome.
We're playing. That's my New Year's resolution is that Jordan and I are going to play Halo.
My New Year's, if I
Got
had
to
to
do
have
something like actually attainable. So Jordan and I are going to play Halo.
if I had like a New Year's resolution or something, or if I could have like a couple of things, one of them would be getting to play more video games with you guys.
Aw.
Yeah.
You like us or something? Crazy.
You guys are like one of the like one of the top highlights of my week.
Aw.
Like
Same.
it's like the thing that I look forward to. I'm
That
like,
and watching movies for homework. Goodness. Okay. Here we are.
Someone went too hard at the New Year's Eve parties.
I guess.
Or,
No,
needs to do more real homework.
Yes.
Just-
So I'll say, let's see, rejoice.
at least I didn't say homework.
My wife got ordained to this in 2023. That was a cool moment.
Yes.
That was really.
Applause.
Oh, nope. It's the wrong one.
I found it. I found it eventually.
Connor,
What's this
this
one? Oh, yeah. No. We're going this one. There we go.
Connor, this is why you don't press the buttons.
I press all the buttons.
You press my buttons.
That's right. Congratulations, Priscilla.
Yeah,
that was very exciting.
Priscilla got ordained in the Free Methodist Church in June. Yeah, the good things have happened too, I swear. Our church has been growing like nobody's business, and we've seen so many people give their lives to the Lord this year. It's been really crazy to see everything that God is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another good thing. Ooh, I also got to open for 2 major CCM artists last year, Colton
awesome.
Dixon and Jason Crabb.
Nice.
Woo, 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 woo. It was awesome.
Woo, woo, woo,
They're good
woo.
guys. It was
And
fun.
you finally got that guitar solo from me before the end of the year.
Okay.
Christmas time is here.
Oh, heck.
There.
I forgot I had one more point, but then you distracted me. Oh, and this year, I've seen this is the year that I've finally seen all the extended versions of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
That's great. Oh.
How did I forget this?
Oh.
How did I forget this? Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out this year.
So good! I still haven't finished it, though.
I won't say anything other than
Well done.
my favorite game franchise put out one of the best games in the franchise.
Can we just talk about, though, for a
So
sec on that, though, too? Because, Breath of the Wild came out, and it was revolutionary, for open world gaming.
Well, and for Zelda.
And for Zelda. And then Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and it makes Breath of the Wild look like the light version.
It
the demo.
It makes it look like a tech demo. It genuinely makes it look like a tech demo.
What the heck?
Well, okay. Part of that is because Breath of the Wild was originally made and designed for the Wii U.
Well, right.
So when they could just do, put it on the Switch with its much better tech, they had a lot more room to play with. literally.
Like, well done.
Yes.
Sequels are always really tricky, but well done.
Well, and
well done.
They don't always. In fact, they very rarely do sequels for Zelda games.
Yes.
And the fact that they did it so well, it's like,
well done.
Yeah. Also, as we do this podcast, I'm realizing that we'll probably do some video game episodes this year.
That sounds fun.
Some video game podcast episodes, like where we cover a video game.
That'd be great.
We've talked about doing that.
We've talked about it.
But now that I hear the joy in Jordan and Jacob both going, I'm like, man, we got to harness that.
Look,
as long as we don't cover the Doctor Who specials, I think we'll be okay. I don't care what we do.
Who?
Exactly.
Doctor Who joke.
Yeah, that would be a little bit
classic
strange.
owl
that would be
joke.
too.
I was too busy hearing your bull crap. I didn't actually hear what Jordan said.
Sorry,
Don't
Jordan.
worry about me. What I said was it was strange.
Jordan.
Is all. That's all.
That's why I love you.
This is why.
Anyway, one game we should consider doing, because I just recently played through all of them, or all the ones that have been, which the last one has been announced that they're going to be doing I think the remaster of that one's coming out this year, 2024. Sam & Max.
Okay. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
Sam and Max
Yeah.
or Salmon Max?
No,
like is it a Bass Pro
Is it a
fishing like game?
No, not fish. It's actually a rabbit and a dog,
Oh,
and
Nice.
they're cops.
Nice.
wait. Didn't they make a movie out of that? Isn't that a movie?
They might have
Zootopia?
That's a rabbit and a fox.
Oh, you're right. It's a fox. What the
no,
fox said?
No, they're
Throwback.
Sam & Max are freelance police.
It's
It was a game franchise that was originally like a point and click adventure, and I mean it still is, like the remasters are, but they in my early childhood years when Game Tap was a thing. If you ever played Game Tap, if you listeners at home, if you ever played Game Tap, comment that you did
You
Game
should
Tap,
be
or that
friends.
you even know what it is. That yes, we should be friends. So Game Tap was like Netflix for video games.
Yeah.
It was a great time. But they had this series on there, Sam & Max, which was like a 3D version of this old sprite.
Thinking salmon.
Sam & Max. Sam &
Sorry,
Max.
I don't want to interrupt
It's
you.
okay.
My bad.
So it's a great.
We've had
It's
enough
a
chaos in this episode already.
it's a fun and chaotic game series. So that would be fun to
Yeah,
go through with
It's
you
kind of like the
guys.
one moment when you had us doing the Super Mario Maker.
Yeah. Which I
That
want
was-
Would
to.
you call this a point and
Yes, I would.
I'm pushing all the buttons today, boys.
Connor.
You're always welcome.
My New Year's resolution is to keep Connor from pressing buttons.
My New Year's resolution is to give Connor more buttons.
No.
I have a great joke for you. Ready? Knock knock.
Who's there?
What other ones do you have on here? Booing. Bowing?
Boing. Hit it,
Oh.
hit it, hit it, hit it.
Oh. Okay.
I have more that I want to do. I want to do.
Anyways.
yeah.
This ADHD moment brought to you by
Connor Gibson.
Connor Gibson. Who knew?
If you at home or wherever you're listening to this, if you listening or watching have a video game that you think would be interesting for us to do,
Oh, that's a great idea.
let us know.
Great idea.
Like seriously, if you're interested specifically in us playing through a game, and like
This would be fun to do on our YouTube channel.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Yeah.
Nice.
let us know.
You know what? It would be another good thing for Revolution. That's my church. For resolutions for this year is to have more merch.
More merch.
Links on our social. Go check it out.
Do it. All right. To continue the 2023 reflections, we're back to me, and here we go. This one's a little bit longer, so buckle up, folks. Okay, so I want to look at we think about like 2023 and all that's going on in our culture too, like on a more like serious note, right? I don't think worried's the right word, but I want to just draw attention and name the division and virtue signaling and viewing other as evil that has taken root in our culture, at least in the United States, and continues to at least from my vantage point get worse, right? We haven't seemed to be getting any better, and there's a lot of different reasons why, and we can try to speculate and unpack the reasons why. But I think of like when we think about like in the context of the United States, I don't think heed the warning that Abraham Lincoln actually quotes Jesus in saying, "A house divided cannot stand." So like the division that we experience in the United States is concerning. I'm concerned for the believers because I think there's a lot of division in the church too, not just in like denominations, but
everybody gets along.
Well, yeah, right, yeah. You'd hope so, right?
You'd think so.
One head, Jesus Christ, many different members. You think we would get along, but we don't in a lot of ways. And I think sometimes a lot of it is we disagree, and I think it's okay to disagree. But we can still be unified in the midst of disagreement, and I don't think we do that well.
Well, maybe that's a good challenge for the year 2024. Is like maybe not go out of your way to find people who disagree with you. Like that's a manipulative reason to be friends with someone. But like challenge yourself of finding ground with someone that you don't agree on. Because some of the most healthy relationships can be ones where you can agree to disagree.
Yeah. And view that as a growing experience, right?
Yes.
Not as a threatening thing, but like as a opportunity for me to grow, as an opportunity to help the other person grow, right? And to come into those dialogue and to seek unity. Like we'll look at, I thought of Ephesians 4, the chapter starts with, as a prisoner for the Lord, then, as Paul writing, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. I love that phrase, bearing with one another, right? It's not just like, oh, everything's kumbaya, but it's like
bear down for midterms.
Like, sometimes, like we gotta. That's right. Sometimes we gotta bear with one another.
We gotta bear down for midterms.
You gotta bear my crap. I never have to bear your crap because you have no crap. Neither do you, Jordan. Neither one of you are perfect. It's awesome.
Hey, didn't we talk about last episode about honor and honesty?
Yes, we did. We have to deal with each other's crap.
That was last year.
That's right. That was 2023. This is 2024. Everything's fine. This is fine. He continues, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. If you're a believer and you don't think unity is a big deal, Paul disagrees with you strongly.
Yeah. You can't love Jesus and hate the church.
Yep. And that means loving people that disagree, that think differently than you, that look differently than you, that act differently than you, that have different priorities than you, right? We're called to love everybody. 2 greatest commandments boiled down, right? Love God and love others. That's the 2. That's the 2. There's 2 things.
How many?
2 things. Love the Lord God with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Well, you know. If you know, you know. And I hope you know. And then as we think about how we view the world, right? So I'm talking about how we view the United States, how we view other believers, and how we view the world. Remember that it's God so loved the...
Not God so judged.
Right. God so loved the world. The world. It's not God so loved Israel. Right?
It's not
if we're
God so
thinking
loved
about
America.
Old Testament, that's not like a political statement. If we think about the context of Scripture, right? Jesus didn't come for Israel. Jesus came for the whole world through Israel, right? But for the whole world. So as you look to other nations and peoples, remember that they too are made in the image of God. They are not our enemy. Because it says, love your neighbor as yourself. So I just want to call us as believers to really live into that in 2024, to be mindful of it, to remember it. And that can be a powerful witness to the world around us too, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
going to piggyback off of something you said earlier about bearing one another with humility. I think, because my mind just went to Philippians with be humble, viewing others as better than yourselves. And I want to maybe speak over being healthy with advocating for mental health. Because the thing is, humility doesn't there's the common saying, humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of others less. And because that always confused me in Philippians. What did I?
That's a sound.
Thinking of yourself less. Yeah. Thank you. It's okay. I'll re-say it. It's
No, sorry. I was shocked at the sound. I was like, we have that sound available? What?
So it's humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less.
Yeah.
So I said others less, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You did.
That's why I was like, wait, backtrack.
Backtrack.
That's right.
Back it up. Back. Okay. Anyways.
We knew what you were trying to say.
In Philippians, when it says thinking of others is better than yourselves, I don't think that means that you have to, what's the word? The opposite of elevate.
Descendicate.
My brain just completely blanked.
De-elevate? No, like
you
tear
can't-
down?
Yeah, like don't make yourself less, but make others better. It's not lowering the bar. It's raising the bar. It's not like assuming that I am worthless and I am trash, therefore anybody else is just plain normal. It's I am a image bearer of God. I am a son I am an adopted son into the kingdom and co-heirship of Christ. And I'm going to assume the best about other people, rather than treating myself like crap and assuming everybody else is just normal.
I don't remember which video, but the Bible Project actually has a really good visual image of that.
Yeah.
It's like there's
A visual
everybody
image
has-
on an audio podcast. Let's try it.
Well, I'm about to describe it audibly.
Do it.
So it's the image of like you're standing on your little hexagon square.
We're doing great, people.
You're standing.
Welcome to
You're standing.
2024.
You're standing in like your little hexagon spot, right? You're standing in your area, and then there's somebody else who's like their little area is like yours is elevated above theirs, right? And so you're reaching down and grabbing this one that's lower in this lower elevation. You're bringing them up to where you are at.
Yeah.
Because if we go to the ones that are like that we see as or that are above us, and we're trying to grab them and push those up, then we might be idolizing them.
Yeah, and there's no point in tearing people down to our level and assuming that they're just as bad as us.
Right.
That doesn't bring where's the hope of the gospel in that? So like this past year has been very trying for me. It's been a little rough. Enemies just been really attacking not only me but also my family. My parents have been in the ER a couple times this past year. And in the midst of all the good things, I think the one thing that I learned over this past year, now that I'm reflecting on it, because verbal processor, is having a healthy, standing up for mental health. We at my job at the church I work at, we spent this past year expanding our church building because, well, good things were happening and we couldn't fit the people anymore. Great things, good things happening, but in the midst of the expansion, we sacrificed our rest.
Mm-hmm.
We sacrificed our time, which is okay. It's not terrible, but it's not sustainable either. And this whole past year has just reminded me why the commandment of Sabbath is the longest and the most important out of the 10 commandments, because if we don't have rest, there's not a whole lot else we have. So I think maybe my challenge, at least for myself, this new year, not next year, new year, is abdicating from mental health, but not going too far to let it be a crutch. So it's not like I feel a little tired, I'm not going to do anything. It's not letting it become a crutch where I excuse myself from having to do things, but I can't pour into others and fill people up unless I am also taking care of myself. It's the thinking of others more. It's the thinking like what you were saying, the Bible Project thing. It's not pulling people down to my level, but it's rising to where I need to be and where I'm called to be and helping people go further.
Yeah. I think, too, for me, we've talked about rest before on the podcast, and thinking about, especially in, I think ministry can be really difficult because what you're talking about, right? Because it's I'm doing all these really good things for the Lord, right? Yeah. Or and I think it's out of a good heart. I don't think it's bad intention type of deal.
Right.
We want to help people. That's a big part of why we're in ministry. We want to serve the church. We want to serve God in big ways. We want
to remember that it's Jesus' ministry, not
love.
ours.
Yeah. We want to love people well. We want to help people through really hard times, and oftentimes it's when you think about the totality of all of it, you're like, I don't know where to start. But yeah, remembering that it's not our ministry, like you just said, it's not our ministry, it's Jesus' ministry.
Well, it's the fact that
We are not God. God is God. And God loves them way more than we love them.
Yeah.
No matter how much we love them, right? God, we can't imagine the depths of God's love for them. Can't imagine the depths of God's love for us. We come into deeper knowledge, but we still don't scratch the surface. His love is so great. And when we think we need, I think oftentimes we fall into that trap, what you're talking about, like a little bit, is that we think we need to be like, that we are the only one that can help somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, God will provide for
No,
their
I think
need
that's
what
the
they
example that Jesus set. I mean, think about it. He did his ministry for 3 years, all these great things. Not like I'm not going to ever discredit the things that Jesus did because they were freaking amazing.
Right.
But then he left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he also rested, and
He rested, yes, but
Withdrew
think about it.
from
Like he
crowds
died, he raised, and then he left. Not like left us, but he left the work to be done by the apostles, and that is what started the big movement of the church. And it just reminds me that even as like whether you're a pastor in a church or whether you are just an average Joe just trying to walk with Jesus. How do I put this? Man, if I disappear, the ministry should still keep going. Like people people experiencing the love of Jesus should not solely depend on me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole point of Jesus. You have before his death and resurrection, you had that the high priest, Hebrews talks about that Jesus is the great mediator of our faith. Before the high priest would have to be our connection to God, and that's not our calling anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry.
there's
Soapbox.
there's Sky Jatani has something on. Yeah, first Sky Jatani mention of the 2024, but he has
I don't know,
something.
you already said Holy Post
Oh.
several times.
Well, Holy Post is more than just Sky. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Anyway, Sky Jatani mentions, he describes this in his book With. He describes the difference between being missional and missionalism.
Oh yeah, you've talked about this before.
I have talked about this before. So missionalism is, as Sky describes it, it's when the mission of God becomes more important than God himself.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in ministry, that becomes a really big temptation.
Yeah.
When it's like, well, we need to get butts in seats, and we need to get
Just the butts.
well, you need to get butts in seats. Yes, just the butts in the seats.
Okay.
I would hope. I mean, I don't want people's heads in the
No
seats.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. No shirts, no shoes, no coconuts, no service. Ifs, ands, or buts, or coconuts. So missionalism, right?
Yes,
man.
missionalism.
So
Thank you.
So yeah, Sky mentions this. We can get so obsessed with doing things for God, right?
Yeah.
That we miss God himself, and we miss being with him, in communion with him, and in his presence, and walking with him. It is more important to walk with God than to try to do things for him.
Yeah.
God does not need us.
Mm.
God
Yeah.
adores us.
There's a. I'm going to mention another book because we're just referencing everything today. In Zach Neese, How to Worship a King, he brings up this point. It's like, do you really want, like the prayer that people often ask is, God, would you please use me? Do you really want to feel used or be used? God doesn't want to use you like a tool, because as soon as the tool breaks, you throw it away and get a new one. God doesn't want to use you. He wants to know you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you even think of the parable of the sheep and the goats being separated, right? And you got Jesus turns to the goats and says, "Go away, I never knew you."
Yeah.
And it's like, "But Lord, we did all this
Yeah,
stuff
we did
for
all these
you.
things in your name,
Yeah.
but depart from me, I never knew you. Yeah.
And then he turns to the sheep and goes, "You're the," and he talks about, "Oh yeah, you're the one who gave me water." And like he references the things that
Yeah.
were done, but it's like, you are the people that I know.
No, go to like there's a high difference between believing in something and knowing something. I even think about in James where it says, you believe in the one God. Good for you. Even the demons believe and they tremble with fear. That there is a difference between, like, I can believe in God. And that's been like a prayer for mine lately, is like I want to believe in a God that is there for me all the time. Or I want to know a God that is there for me all the time. I already believe in that. But it's kind of like when I grew up, like, every kid growing up, like that is told not to put their hand on the stove. I'm told that it's going to be hot, and I believe that it's hot. But because I was 3 years old, like, and I was told that, it was like, oh, really? Like that, then I knew. There's a personal aspect to knowing something, not believing in something. Like, I believed in the mission of the expansion project for our church, and like, I believed in my head that, man, we just got to keep sacrificing because we're just almost at the other end of this. We're almost at the other end of this. And what was supposed to be originally about 2 months took all year.
Yeah.
I did not know at the time that my health was important to being a part of the work.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, like, even in my own life, when I see that, because I think we've all been there, right? We've all pushed it too far. We've all kind of sacrificed rest because we think, oh, in the short term, it's okay, type of deal. And oftentimes in those moments, God continues to come back and just kind of remind me and just be like, are you God or am I God?
Yeah.
Like, are you the one providing for yourself and for my people, or is it me? Am I the one that's providing? And if I'm telling you in my word that rest in me, right, is important, and is so important that it is one of the 10 commandments, and it's like I displayed and this importance even when I made creation. Yeah. Like, right, God's rested on the seventh day. Yeah.
But
and
so
once every seventh day, we're
the
supposed
9
to,
commandments and the one suggestion.
Yep. No command in Scripture more than obey
Rest.
Sabbath. Yeah.
It's the longest one. It's the one that gets 2 definitions.
Yep. So
we can unpack that at a later date.
Yeah, and for me, it's am I resting in God's provision in my life and in the lives of those that I care about, and those that I lead, and those that I shepherd, and those that in the church, and like all this stuff, or do I not really trust that God's going to provide when I'm resting? Yeah. And oftentimes, I think, again, with somewhat good intentions, oftentimes we push it too far.
Yeah,
and oftentimes always it does not end well when that happens. Yeah, but it's always a good reminder. Other reflections from 2023.
Both of us have had a bad relationship with vehicles in 2023.
Ain't that the friggin' truth? Hey, let me tell you what's not a great way to upgrade your car. Get sandwiched on I-70.
Oh, I-70 claims another.
Let me tell you what's not a great way to get a feature of your car fixed. Get your license plate stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a major bummer too.
Yeah. There was also when I got in a car accident this 2023 too. Do you remember this? This was before podcast started. This was early.
Is that what happened in the front of your front left?
Oh,
front end of the,
you have told me about that. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. I'm caught up now. But I do have to say, in all of that, talking about God's provision, when my wife and I got in our car wreck, we were taken care of completely and solely. And no matter what would have happened, we were driving. I'll give slight details. We were driving to my folks' place for Thanksgiving, from McPherson, Kansas to Waterloo, Illinois. So we're driving down I-70, and a bunch of traffic in front of us, it was stop and go. So everybody slammed on their brakes, and we slammed on our brakes, but the person behind us definitely did not. So we ended up making it the rest of the way through, God providing. And we had people offering to come all the way from McPherson, Kansas to come pick us up and bring us back home. Thank you, Bishop. I know you're listening, so thank you. We had other people from our church that were offering, hey, if you can't figure out a car thing with your insurance, we have an extra car that you can borrow until you get this figured out. And then, so all of that side was taken care of because we were trying to figure out what we only have one car. What do we do? It just so happened that my grandpa was selling a car, and so was able to give that to us, where our check we got from the totaled car paid for most of it. In all of this, God has been providing every step of the way.
Yeah. Yep. That's good news.
Yeah.
Jordan, do you have anything else you would like to highlight for 2023? Either personally or professionally. No, I'm just kidding. Not professionally. culture wise. I mean, you could do professionally if you want.
Well, I was gonna say personally, one more thing I wanted to highlight was my D&D group. Love you guys. They for my birthday, they paid for me to be able to fly out to California and go to Disneyland for the first
I
time.
didn't know that part of it. That's awesome.
Yeah, they did that for my
Man,
birthday.
Jordan's D&D group, you guys rock. You guys got it.
Yep, they're amazing. They're my bestest friends. I love all of you guys. You guys are also my best friends. Don't worry. Don't worry. You guys.
That can only be Juan.
There may only be one. Jacob versus
D&D
Connor.
group.
No, I was saying Jacob versus Connor.
I'm gonna just do like an official like recording of like a couple of recordings of that.
Jordan, can you please in a list of 1 through 10 rank your bestest friends?
All right, number
I'm just
one.
kidding.
Number one is Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus is a friend of mine.
What
Jesus
a
is my friend.
we-
Jesus is a friend of mine. What a friend we have in Jesus. No?
I am a friend of God. That's all
I'm
I
a
heard.
friend of... No,
I am
it's
I go to
the...
the
friend
Torrin Wells
of
song.
God.
Torrin Wells, right? Is it Torrin Wells?
What? That one?
No,
No,
no, I
that's
was
not
like-
No.
Torrin Wells.
the one that I was singing.
Did you, Mike?
What a friend we have
That's
in
Matt Mayer.
Jesus.
I have no
That's
idea.
Matt Marr. That's Matt Marr.
As I remember,
Matt Marr.
Remember? Remember?
I don't rank my like. I don't know where serious now. I don't rank my friendships.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Unless you're
Yeah.
trying
I
to
was just-
gaslight us into doing something you want.
That's right.
No, even then, if there's something I want, I'll just.
Jordan's
tell you.
like, you all are tied for 7th. So,
That's awesome.
or like, okay. Fun fact: friend of God, co-written. Do you know who co-wrote it?
No.
Israel Houghton, and this is shocking. You ready?
Yes.
Michael Gunger.
Are you serious? What?
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna say,
Isn't that? This is like what?
what a friend of God who co-wrote it, Mary,
Mary.
in cooperation with the
Did
Holy
she
Spirit.
have a little lamb?
Oh, nice. Co-wrote it. I got it. What? Little lamb.
Did she have a
His fleece
little
was
lamb?
white as snow.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that song should be about Jesus, but it's not. Even though it,
She did have a little lamb.
whose fleece was white as snow. Though our sins they be as scarlet, though my hands have been an
That is not Mary Had a Little
enemy
Lamb.
of God, though my heart has played the harlot, you gave me more than I deserve when you washed my whole world as white as snow.
What is that?
Scarlet by Disciple, which is what
Listen.
my guitar is named after.
Nice.
It's after that song.
When you put the nickel in, you got to hear the whole song.
Yep.
I was thinking we could do a nursery rhymes episode because, like, you're kind of, like, where is it? Does that point us to Jesus? Is Mary had a little lamb point us to Jesus?
Yeah, I feel like that would get really dark really fast. You have a lot of
Interesting.
like
Like crimes.
Ring around the rose. That's
Rosie, pocket full of
Right.
posies, ashes, we all fall down.
Yeah.
About the plague. Fun fact. Okay,
So on that note,
maybe this could be a
Ring
transition
around
into
the
this.
roses. Pocket full of shells.
I forgot to stop timing, so I have no idea how long we've been going, but I'm going to use this as
We
our
could-
transition a little bit into the hopeful for 24, but here's the end of highlights 2023 as we think about God working in the world in 2023. I think like a lot of times when we look back on a year, as we look at society, it can be really easy to get super negative, right? Like remember all the bad things, because a lot of times they're the easy things to remember, right? Like maybe a lot of the highlights that we went through in 2023, you're like, oh, that was kind of a bummer of a thing that we all participated in and remember, right? As we think about even the last like 5
selling
years,
our
like one of
souls
the
to
big
get
things is like
Chief season passes.
what?
Like everybody participating, like everybody's selling their souls probably to get Chief season passes.
Oh, the Chiefs, they're the best. They're the best. Love the Chiefs. Big fan. I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, it's easy to think of the negative things. And oftentimes that's for obvious reasons. And I think that the things when we look back on and we think about the negatives, what things maybe we've rejected, maybe we think about how leaders have failed us. Maybe we think of how uncertain we feel about the future or the direction of culture or the world, or right, we have different maybe culture wars or literal wars that are happening. Maybe different things that We look at all that is broken and not right with the world. We think of division and violence and
I hate math.
injustice and death and destruction and greed. And I'm going to subtract Jordan's comment out of the feed. Math joke again. It reminds us that, and is a testament to, I think, as we look at the world, is our dependence for God on every good thing. Our dependence on God for every good thing. There we go. I mixed some words there.
We're all about mixing up words today.
And that putting our ultimate hope in anything or anyone else apart from Him will only lead us to feeling hopeless or empty or jaded or apathetic or fearful or angry. Did we talk about this episode or last episode?
That was last episode.
Last episode we talked about anger or utterly disappointed. And so, like, hope in a political party, in a presidential election that's coming up, in a career, in a spouse, in a child, in a movement, in your health, on and on. You put anything you put your ultimate hope in that is not God, all those things will eventually, given time, fail us. And so, just to remind us, as we head into 2024 and we reflect back on 2023, of Matthew 7, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock." Right? The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. So remember to keep our hope in Jesus, to trust in His commands, to follow His commands, to again hear and apply the words that He has given to us in Scripture, to follow His leading as we enter into 2024, and to be a people, as believers, filled with hope. I think that's a tremendous testimony to the world, right? When the world's all negative and down and hopeless and everybody's fighting and everybody's up in arms and they're afraid and all these things, what a testament it is when the people of God strength, right? Like that was one of the things in, they talked about, I don't remember where it is, but they talk about like the Christians, they're not afraid of death. Right?
Right.
So that is just a testimony again to God's work in our lives. So it reminds us to put our hope in Him. And when the world is, I want to say parentheses, seemingly falling apart, it can remind us that Jesus is our true hope, that He grants us His peace, He fills us with His joy, and we overflow with love because of the great love He has lavished on us.
Yeah.
And that we share Him with the world who is desperate for a hope that will not disappoint. Yeah. So that is our testimony.
Yeah. Well, so as a reminder for this new year, because you had made the comment that it's really easy to remember the bad things. I think maybe our perspective of the bad things is another thing worth looking at. I'm just reminded of the Screw Tape Letters. So in one of the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, which if you haven't read, it's a surprisingly accurate read for our modern culture, even though it was written in 1940s. It is a series of letters that were printed in newspapers, like fictional letters, taking like that from the point of view of one demon, writing to another demon about advice on how to wreck up his human's life. And in letter number 6, and I don't have word for word because I don't have the book, but I have the SparkNotes version.
Ooh, SparkNotes.
So this is from Screw Tape is writing to his nephew Wormwood. I don't know about how to mess up his human. So similarly, when he the human is doing favorable things to the enemy, let him be thinking, my feelings are charitable, his focus is inwards. I think I actually read the wrong spot. Here we go. So Screw Tape advises Wormwood to introduce self-awareness in the patient about his state of mind only when it's favorable. Keep the patient fearful but never aware that he is experiencing fear. This way, he may never recognize and accept it as trials from God. Oh. And in the letter, the letter words like, may your patient never know that this could be his cross to bear for today. And so my, I guess, not challenge, reminder is that, man, even the way we look at these bad things, we can choose to see it as an inconvenience to our own lives, or that it is just another bump in the road as we are walking with Jesus. And sometimes, no matter how, sometimes it's extreme, sometimes it's not. The minor inconvenience to the major life abrupting issues could be, like, what if they are the cross we are called to bear for the day?
Yeah.
So as we're going into this new year with tons of really good things happening, that could happen. Tons of really bad things that are probably going to happen because this world still sucks. Let's keep it in the mind that we are walking with Jesus. That there is an end goal, there is a restoration that is going to happen one day. And everything else is just a bump in the road. Could be a very big bump. Could break if you're driving down that road, you could break an axle, or pop a tire. Could be a pretty big pothole. But what does it matter as long as you get to the destination of being one with Jesus and experiencing the power of his love in the kingdom of God?
Amen. Jordan, as we look ahead to 2024, what are you hopeful for? What do you see on the horizon? What do you have vision for?
Well, this is kind of a side. It's more like a little bit more of a selfish thing.
Yeah.
Well, two things. One, I would like to try to buy a home next year.
Hey!
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
The other thing is I really want to just release at least one song next year.
You heard it here, folks.
Nice.
We'll see what happens, though.
That's great, man.
Dude, I'm excited to hear that.
We'll see
great.
what happens.
That's awesome. I think for me, I've already hinted at it a little bit, but we have this phrase we say in our worship ministry that says, "We are kingdom of heaven risk takers. We will not let the fear of failure keep us from bold faith." Just throughout, since actually the Global Leadership Summit that happened this summer, one of the speakers I felt really challenged to take a lot more risks.
What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that wasn't that person though. It was the.
Oh.
It was the. But that was part of it. Oh, I don't remember her name though. She was the one that kind of started the beauty brands company.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Well, we'll find it out and put it in the show notes.
But she talked about what are the.
There's going to be like a chapter book in the show notes.
It will be. She talks about what stories do you tell yourself, right? And what are the assumptions that you're making, and you need to rewrite a lot of your negative assumptions. So, like, for instance, like fear of failure. Like, when you experience failure, what does that tell you about yourself? Like, what's the story you tell yourself when you fail? Is it that I'm worthless? All these things, or is it something positive? And so I want to live into the more positive ones of when I fail, it's telling me that I am taking big enough risks, that I am putting myself out there. It reminds me when I fail that my identity and my value is not found in what people think of me, but in who God thinks of me.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other things on that list, but I don't have it in front of me, so I don't quite remember. Got to commit that to memory. So that's part of my 2024 is take a little more. And that's kind of part of what led me to want to start this podcast with you guys. Was
that plus you just wanted us to school you in a bunch of movie trivia?
Yeah, that's right. That too. Hey, this is a little risky for me. Like, it feels a little risky for me to put my ideas and thoughts out there into the world for people to critique, right? Because I don't have all the right answers. I'm just kind of spitballing up here, and it's kind of an exposing thing. But it has been a tremendously rewarding and beneficial thing as well. So take more of those risks. That's my hope for 2024 for me personally.
Nice.
Cool.
I have a similar note for 2024, but I think so. I like to not plan resolutions, but to think about like what do I want to see happen. Last year it was health. I wanted to get it was going to be a year of just focusing on health, and then it was the one thing that was attacked the most. So I think as I'm thinking through for next year, I'm trying to rethink it to what battle am I willing to fight. And I think this year is just growth.
Yeah.
Growth and for me being seen. I don't I get really scared of being in spotlight. I get really scared of having to put myself out there, kind of like what you're saying, and taking risks. Not because of fear of failure, but just I guess I have a habit / have found myself into many parts of my life where I hate you. I hate you so much. Where I just end up isolating or being isolated. and that's where the enemy likes to get me a lot. So that's what I've been thinking through the battle of not, the battle of growth in the sense of not ending, of not being isolated anymore. So, yeah.
Wait a minute. Do we struggle with the same things?
Maybe.
Do we just become best friends?
Yes.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yeah.
All right.
I know what that's from. I've just never seen
Step
it.
Brothers.
And on that note,
Awesome. Hey, thanks for joining us today. I think this episode's a little bit longer than normal, but it was good.
a little chaotic.
It was fun. It was fun. We're starting the new year off a little unbuttoned. So this podcast
Your
is
shirt's
a little...
still buttoned.
I rebuttoned it. I did. I left one. I did leave one unbuttoned the whole episode, so I apologize for bringing this into
Making
this
it a little bit more
podcast.
risque.
Ow, ow. I have a shirt on underneath this, so calm down, everyone. But as we wrap up, again, just a reminder, please rate, review, subscribe, verb.
Check us out on social media.
Oh, social media.
Buy all our merch. Look, if we start selling enough merch, I have an idea for what we could do with our packaging. That we could package it like the movie popcorn box.
Uh-huh. That would be creative.
Come on, guys.
That'd be fun. So you consider doing that. There was something else, but I don't remember. So welcome to 2024. We're excited to be here. We're excited for how God's going to move and work in our world this year, in our lives this year. And we're excited to continue to unpack how he continues to move and work in culture, in movies, through art, in our churches, in our friend groups, in our families, or in video games, right? And so much more. God is everywhere and is on the move. He is alive and active. So
God is on the move.
God is on the
Hallelujah.
move. On the move. Hallelujah. I don't know the words. Bye-bye. See you next time.